is Jill Beeler, and I'm going to talk to you today about disciplining your child in public. The story that I think about when I think about disciplining my daughter is viewing a mother and a child in a store and hearing them screaming throughout the store, and look on the mother's face is usually frustration and worry that I would see. And the frustration is because she wants to discipline her child, she wants to spank her child, or she wants to, smack her hand or do something of that sort. And she also has a look of worry because she's worried about what other people are thinking, whether they're going to take her child away from her or what they're going to do. I have also found myself now in this situation because my daughter is now 2, and she's starting to learn that Mommy is a little bit more lax in public. And because of that, I want to know what I can do as far as disciplining my child in public. So I did some research, and I found that there's a lot of different views. There's a lot of views, mostly a lot of people saying, it's not okay to discipline your child, and a lot of people are trying actually to get rid of spanking now. But from what I found, it is very gray as far as the law goes. I found some research from a lady named Stephanie Hicks Pass, and she basically compiled about 20 different scientist studies on a variety of different families and cultures that came from about the last 10 years, I believe. I also found 2 psychologists. One is Gregory K. Fritz, and also Carol Jenny, and they both have opposing views. I also found the law, what it states in the Indiana government. What I'm going to explain to you today is my routine as far as how I discipline my child. Then I'm also going to explain to you what I found as far as the research was, what the 2 psychologists' views were, and also the Indiana law. My discipline routine starts off with, basically I count to 3. I give her 3 chances to basically stop doing what she's doing. It also gives me time to relax, calm down. That way I don't laugh at her or I don't get angry with her. It gives me a chance to calm myself so I can put on my mommy said no face. I also, after that, I usually spank her or give her a timeout. If it's a spanking, usually it's for something she's already been disciplined for, or something that's going to affect her health. If I give her a timeout, it's usually for anything else that she might have gone into. As far as the spanking goes, it's usually 5 times on her bottom, and I usually do this on top of her clothes. The timeouts I'm having a harder time with right now. They say 1 minute for each year of her life, so she gets 2 minutes for timeout, and she has the hardest time trying to sit still. Usually it takes about 10 seconds before she's actually whining and crying to try and get out of that timeout. So going from one to the other, it's harder. One is actually worse right now than the other. After she's done with that, then usually what we do is we talk about what she did, and she says she's sorry, and we give each other hugs and kisses. The reason that I do this is, the reason I talk to her is because I want her to understand why I'm disciplining her, why what she did was wrong. But the problem as far as talking to her right now that I'm having a problem with is she doesn't understand all my words. When I ask her why she did it, or when she says because, she's just basically parroting back what I've already said to her. I've taught her to apologize, to say please and thank you, but again, I don't know if she totally understands those words because she's only 2. That is basically my discipline routine, and that's what I found works for her right now, but she is growing, so I've been trying to grow with her. Right now I want to talk to you about the research that I found from Stephanie Higgs Pass. Like I was telling you, it's about 20 studies that she compiled together from I believe there was more than 20 scientists in there. But it was from the last 10 years. It was from different families, and they were all from different cultures. The range in far as what they viewed as reasonable corporal punishment can go anywhere from a harsh discipline to a loving discipline. And they kind of all group that together. And that's the most of the problem where they're finding that gray area. As far as the harsh discipline was, that's where you would find a lot of the negative effects, such as hitting others, like other adolescents when they get older into adulthood, hitting their spouses, other loved ones. They could also have lower cognitive abilities as they got older. As far as positive effects for a loving discipline, the effects that I found were they actually respected others more. Their learning abilities grew better because they were able to get away from acting out and actually sitting down and learning. The law that Stephanie discussed her view was so lacking in definition because in every state that she found there was just a generic term. Usually reasonable was the most general. Reasonable use of corporal punishment. Where do you fit in there? Where do you put, how do you group those families together like that? But again, it was a wide study of many different discipline routines. That's one of the psychologists that I found. Her name is Carol Jenny, and she had an opposing view. And I didn't stop looking at it just because she had an opposing view. I wanted to see what she had to say too. Her view on spanking was basically that when you spank a child, that basically she compared it to a husband beating his wife and then saying he's sorry. To me, it doesn't match, because this is a child that doesn't understand what an adult does. She also said when you spank a child, you're basically telling that child that it's okay to hit. And with my daughter, my view is I don't tell her it's okay to hit, because I teach her it's wrong to hit others. And when I spank her, I'm not doing it out of hate or anger. I'm doing it out of discipline, out of love. I also found the psychologist Gregory K. Fritz, and his view, he kind of went along with mine. He was very frustrated again with the lack of definition for the law, because it was so generic, because there are so many different discipline routines. But his view was that when used by loving parents in a nurturing environment, in a discipline routine that was consistent, it didn't have any negative effects. After that, basically, I wanted to know what the law said, and the most that I could find was House Bill 1426, and it states it provides immunity to a parent, guardian, or custodian, or authorized caregiver from civil liability resulting from the reasonable use of corporal punishment. That is the law right there. That's basically why there is so much gray area, because it doesn't tell you, well, this is okay for this family. It groups everybody together with lots of different cultures in there, and it's very, very gray. This is a very sensitive issue, and from what I found from my research, I don't believe that I'm wrong when I wanted to